Alright, let's talk Toy Fair, shall we? I know it's been a week already, but unlike my enthusiasm for toys, my time is limited. Toy enthusiasm limitless, time to talk about it a little more limited. Music. Big weekend, huh? Lots to see. I have found the last couple of years Toy Fair hasn't really done it for me, particularly on the Transformers front. Turtles front, always bring it. Transformers, not so much, but this year, they bought it. We'll come back to that. We'll circle back. First, interesting toy news. McFarlane losing the DC license, going back to Mattel. What's that about? I don't buy from Mattel DC stuff or from McFarlane. If I was going to buy those kind of figures, I'd buy Marvel and I'd go Hasbro. But I don't buy those either, so I'm not buying any DC. But from people who do, I'd be interested to know, is this a good thing? How do we feel about this? From what I've peeped with me papers, I had thought that the McFarlane DC stuff was killing it. What do I know? Hit me up. If you do partake, let me know in the comments. Good thing, bad thing. Good thing, bad thing. So on the Turtles front, lots of cool stuff from NECA. Always cool stuff from NECA. I don't buy it because Turtles has given out the license to so many people that you kind of got to pick one and go with it. And for good or bad, I back Super 7. Make of that what you will. But from the Playmate side of things, we got to see all the new stuff on the way. Well, not all the new stuff. They were a little hesitant to show off the new basic figures. They weren't allowing photography of that yet. But one of my favorite YouTubers, by mistake, on purpose, who can say? I won't name and shame because, you know, Playmates has been good to them. Not that it's going to get back, but whatever. As he went to pan away, got a little crispy shot of what was happening down the bottom there. So we got to see like a, I don't know, it looked like a ninja-y looking Leo. Cooler than that, though, is a character that at first glance I thought was clearly going to be the next gen mutagen man because he's all, you know, green and you can see the bones and the crumbly through. Little JoJo eyeball hanging down the bottom suggests that that's probably actually going to be Muckman. What the muck? Then there's a certain fan favorite overcoated feline lurking there. That's got to be Old Hog, right? Has to be. To me, just from that little peeky, is he been gender flipped for the new show? I don't really give a hoot if he has, just so long as some version of Old Hob ends up in the Plastic Fantastic. And then above that, big mean looking turtle that one could safely say is probably going to be Slash? Who knows? Not rocking any turtle gear, which is a bit of a bummer, but still, when you get a big turtle, it's not often that they're not Slash. So we'll see. In terms of what Playmates did want to show, lots of gimmicky stuff as per usual. The throwy of the weapons kinda cool, but you're never going to play with it, so I'm not going to get it. What I did really like though was that pet turtle playset. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's cool. I don't need that, I'm not going to buy that. But upon reflection, I do need that and I am going to buy that. Because it's just too cool not to. I love a playset that can compact up because, as we all know, a decent playset takes up a lot of real estate. But a playset that can double is something else? Wow, that's another beast entirely. With the Turtles as well, we also got to see that they're doing the minis again. It just wouldn't be a new release of Turtles without getting the minis in there. These ones are a little uninspired compared to what we've seen in the past, but there's a good chance I'm going to get at least one. The big head, big mouth, whatever they're calling them. I'll get one. From Playmates, we also got to peep what they're doing with Power Rangers. A lot of it is kind of just meh, action features, meh, whatever. The Megazord looks somehow a little off to me. What is cool is they're kicking it old school and redoing those old, like, posable Bandai figures. I'm here for that. Sort of. I've got them all. I won't buy them, but it's a cool thing that they're doing. In terms of some smaller manufacturers, it was also cool to see from Trick or Treat Toys them expanding out to a whole bunch of different things. All those horror toys. Not for me, but I know people love that stuff. What is for me, though, is all the cool things they're doing with Toxic Crusaders. They had a kind of almost final prototype there for Mayor McCheese, or whatever his name is. It's escaping me at the moment. There's so much going on up here. There's a lot percolating in the old think tank. Right, I like that a lot. Hopefully they're going to get to Irma. I think someone was saying they were playing with the tooling a little bit from the Ravishing Reporter April figure. Do any character that you can think of that didn't get a toy as a toy, style them like that. Love it. Hopefully, they do a Peludo, and it's an easier to get your hands on Peludo than the couple of versions that have happened so far, because he's expensive. It's too expensive. It was really cool to see Loyal Subjects taking on M.A.S.K. I didn't know that that was in the works. Did you know that was in the works? It looks sick. I'm not going to get any of it because there's only so much that I can take on board, but I really enjoyed seeing it. And to me, M.A.S.K is one that surely if we're doing G.I. Joe Transformer crossovers, we can swing it for a little M.A.S.K, right? Matt Tracker, hanging out with, I don't know, Hot Rod, Sideswipe, that's probably the best fit, right, for Matt Tracker? It's about time the Robots in Disguise came together with the M.A.S.K Crusaders, working overtime, fighting crime. Fighting crime. Speaking of crossovers, we got to see the Transformers Hot Wheels stuff, which when that got like rumored, I'd assumed that it was just going to be more Hot Wheels of Transformers vehicles, but getting some Hot Wheels classics as Transformers, very cool. I must admit, the two cars they showed in terms of Hot Wheels meant absolutely nothing to me. In terms of cars that turn into robots, much cooler. That like sleek Corvette Stingray-ish inspired looking thing, real generic. Real generic. But the Hot Rod with his like 6 skull chest, that is a must-have. That looks sick. I really want that. So I'm going to get that. That's how that works for an adult with adult money. So in terms of mainline Transformers stuff, we got to see everything that was teased last time on in the space bridge. Didn't take long for that space bridge to connect. I had planned on skipping that Devastation 2-pack, but peeping it in real life, well, in hand, well, someone else is in hand. I think I'm going to have to get it. The weapons are cool, right? They also showed us some of the other stuff that was coming through the, like, Wreckers 2-packs to get Iron Fist and, is it Carnivac? Must be. Can't be Gatilla. That wouldn't make much sense. Give me Chainclaw, though. Anyway, that 2-pack I will get. I thought it might have been a miss, but Iron Fist, he's so cool. Old Fistytron, which apparently isn't how it's written or pronounced. I've just read it as Fistytron because it's, you know, Iron Fist skipped around, but Fizzytron. Weird. Also on the Transformers front, we got to see Vortex, which is cool because that tells us that Bruticus is coming. Which in terms of like the combiners that we know are coming, I think personally Bruticus tops it. The other like real big reveal that I was really excited about is Cybertron Sideways. At first I thought they just had the original figure sitting there till I peeped that ankle tilt and realized it was a whole new articulated kettle of posable fish. I want it. Gonna get it. Love him. Then we also got to see a couple more primes, which I hadn't super expected, by way of Alchemist Prime and Onyx Prime. Alchemist, little Robo Mario, forget him. The color scheme is uninspired, the alt mode is lame. He is vaguely interesting, but only because he's affectatiously sporting a moustache. I'll get it, because obviously you're getting all 13 primes if you're even getting one prime. You're gonna lock in. Not nearly as keen for him as for Onyx Prime. Whoo! He looks like, you know, Saint Seiya Mythic Saint Cloth awesomeness. Bits everywhere. Horns, fangs, claws, wings. All of the animal bits that one would expect to see on, like, I guess, essentially the god of robotic animals. And he is killing it. That wicked, like, Griffin-y monster mode. His sick Pegasus mode. Pegasus? His sick Centaur mode. Which I think in some of the pictures might have been a little mistransformed. Surely you can stand cooler than that. But, you know, even that, still pretty cool. And then for, like, you know, all that monstrousness to open up to such a pretty mug inside. It's just so Sephiroth-y of him. And I'm really hoping this time round, it doesn't just turn out to be cosplaying Shockwave. That was uncool in the comics. That was really uncool. But this new toy looks phenomenal. And then there were some other bits that I'm less fussed on. But those, Also cool to see that they busted out like and did a whole diorama, brought everyone out that we hadn't seen yet, some grey models, combiners. They really put on a show, right? Transformers fans were eating well at Toy Fair this year. And then, in a move that I think we can only call unexpected, came the reveal of the Transformers Cyberworld stuff. What are we thinking, gang? Bit of an odd one. To be paired with a YouTube TV series? That's quite the gambit. And to take things so familiar, like Optimus and Bumblebee, unchanged, and then mix them in with radically different versions of the characters we know, but still keeping Scorponok like he's been, which he hasn't been in such... Oh man, just wow. What a ride. Grimlock looks awful. And I've always hated the idea of Grimlock being anyone's mount. Grimlock would not play that. That is not for Grim. He just wouldn't abide it. Couldn't abide it. Let alone turning into a mech for someone to pilot. Outrageous! But in terms of a play pattern, pretty cool. Especially Scorponok. I really like that he can have armed up knees and dudes sit in his knees. The cross compatibility of all the armorizing and mech wielding. It's going to be interesting. I'm quite keen to peep the YouTube series. I don't really want to buy any of the toys because they're too simple and size wrong to be of interest to me, but it's a gambit that I really hope pays off for them. Having a shark that turns into a car? Why? Why not just keep him a shark? What's going on? Megatron as a bull? Quite like that. That's actually pretty cool. But then Optimus just being Optimus? Snarl? What? Right, Cyclonus is a dog. They almost, to me, some of these figures look like the back end of the Action Masters when you had like Action Master Omega Supreme who could transform. You know what I mean? As a toy line, it's clearly not meant for us. It's meant for much smaller us's. And if it's a cheaper price point, then maybe more kids will get into it and get some of the big ones and then move backwards. It could be a really savvy move. Or it could be a last-ditch phoned in, like, you know, self-fulfilling prophecy where they're trying to be like, kids don't play with toys, kids don't really care about Transformers. We'll do this and see if they like it, but, you know, if this doesn't work, then no more Transformers for kids. We're all about video games now. I'm nothing if not a child at heart, and if no part of me wants it, are actual children going to want it? I don't know, we're going to have to see. This is a weird one. Cyberworld's got me reeling. I don't quite know what to think about Cyberworld. Hopefully, y'all can help me out a little bit. Right, so that was Toy Fair. What do you think? What did you see? Did you like everything you saw? I know I did. Except for Cyberworld, but I still kind of liked it. I got to get my head around this. Hit me up in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, way to go, you little legend. And until the next one, let's get nerdy with it.